So, interesting day, right? I think we went from 60 degrees to whatever it was today, 30. So tonight I'm planning on a little bit of back work, nothing crazy, some spine strengthening, and if you guys have a blanket, I think everyone has a blanket. What we're going to do when we get to that point, down on the belly, if we have a little bit of support at the pelvis, when we come into some of those poses, you'll see when we get there, it makes it so much easier because I want to keep tonight a little more on the gentler side. So have your blanket close by. And I think just having a regular fold to it should be enough. You don't want it to be too bulky or too high. And let me see, the only other thing is we'll come into a version of half frog, right? The hip release, kind of a restorative pose. And from there, we're going to move into, right from half frog, into a twist that might be a little tricky to get into. So I just want to show that first, because half frog is when the knee is out to the side and the opposite arm is going to be up. You know, this is the restorative pose. And when we move into the twist, we're going to slide this arm here and just kind of roll over, rolling open, but there's going to be no support for the top arm. So we're going to rest it over, it's like the OMG pose. We're going to rest it over the forehead for support, or bring it, the hand down to the floor. So I just wanted to show you guys that before we start, because when we're down on the floor, it's really difficult to figure out what this is. And everything else should be familiar. So before we start, I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience Tuesday. I start my morning with something from the New York Times. They send an email just with like a couple of little highlights of what's going on. And at the bottom of Tuesdays was an animated cartoon. You know, and I click it and it starts really cute. And I miss hugs. I miss standing online and whispering to the person in front of me. And 20 seconds into this little animated cartoon, I'm crying, and I don't know why. And I just got so sad just watching this little thing. And then Tony comes home from work, and he's like, how was your day? And I'm crying, and I'm continuing to cry. And it's like, I'm just so sad, and I didn't know where the sadness came from. So my way of dealing with things like that is just coming to my mat, right? And processing the emotions, processing, okay, what's going on? And sometimes we come to our mat to push away the things that we don't want to feel, right? We come to the mat because we want a little bit of relaxation, or, you know, we want a distraction. And they call that spiritual sidelining. But we practice our yoga to become better people. And what better way than to welcome in. You know, this is where that concept is of welcoming it all comes in. When you do have that sadness, the normal reaction is to push it away. And with me, it's very, you know, look at everything I have to be grateful for. How dare I be sad? You know, and that might be common with other people too. But that sadness will stay. That sadness will linger until we actually unwrap it. Right, bring it out in front of us, take a look at it. Okay, what's going on? You know, and then we allow those emotions to come up, look at them, decide what we want to do with them, if there's even anything we can do with them, and move on. So I just wanted to throw that out there, because usually if I'm going through something, it's pretty common that the rest of us are going through something similar. I found that through these classes, when I throw something out there, I'll usually get a text or an email, or someone will say like, thank you. for sharing. You know, I thought I was the only one. Hi, Anne. So just, it's okay. It's okay to feel. Right? We don't have to be happy all the time. We don't have to put this happy face on all the time. I don't know about you guys. None of this was on my plan for 2020. We were going to Italy for my birthday. You know, a pandemic wasn't part of my plan, and I'm sure it wasn't part of yours. So I invite you tonight to kind of play with that. Our mat is a very safe place to explore. You know, as things come up, don't push them away. Breathe through it, process it. Notice how we can sit with something that might be a little uncomfortable and still have pleasure, right? And I'm not doing, usually when I say that, it means I'm pushing you guys into a vigorous class. We're not doing that tonight. We're definitely more on the gentler side tonight. But that's an invitation. And of course, if that doesn't work for you, then you are free to set any other intention, exploration, or inquiry tonight on your mat. So let's start by taking a comfortable seat and letting the chin drop to the chest. And just noticing how you showed up tonight. You know, when we first got on the meeting, a few of us were talking about shoveling snow. So if, like me, you were out shoveling, maybe the body's a little cranky. Maybe the right side a little bit more than the left, if that's your dominant side. You know, is there something special that you need to do tonight to take care of the body? Right, so take a breath and scan the body, noticing any areas of tightness, maybe a little bit of pain, maybe you're working through an injury. And remember that nothing in yoga ever hurts. You're always free to modify, do something different, or skip it completely. And then bringing the attention to the breath, those deep inhalations, relax the belly and start to let the belly fill with the breath. Remembering we have a back body too, so feeling that in the lower back. And as we inhale into the ribs, all the way up to the collarbones. And as you exhale, an audible sigh, exhaling completely and squeezing the navel towards the spine. And do that 2 more times. Deep 3-part Dirga breath, filling the body with prana. And as we exhale, just releasing with a sigh. And 1 more time like that. And take the palms to the knees, drop the chin to the chest. Keep the eyes closed if you're comfortable with that, or a soft gaze down at the floor, and start to circle the spine. Start with very small movement, just moving as if the spine was a spoon and we're stirring the body. And as we inhale, bring the chest forward. And as we exhale, bring the back to the wall behind you. And then start to make these circles a little bit bigger, exaggerating the movement. So coming forward and to the left, to the back and to the right. And notice what you feel, the sensation in the body. At some point where it feels to make sense, let's circle the other way. And then begin to slow that movement down, making the circle smaller and smaller until we come to stillness. Press the hips into the mat and start to lift the chin. Let the eyes gently open, shoulders down, lift the crown of the head. Big breath in, take the arms out to the side and sweep them all the way up to the sky. And just pause here for a moment. Let the elbows bend, coming into goddess arms. And then reach the left arm across to the right. Come on back to goddess. And the right reaches across to the left. And do that 2 more times in each direction. And checking in on the side body, how it's showing up tonight. And then bring both arms up towards the sky. Turn the left palm down, bring the left palm to the mat. Take that right arm up and over. And reach the fingers towards the left. As we inhale, rise back up. Take the elbow all the way into the waist. And then like we're releasing an arrow, come up and over into the side bend. Gently moving through that motion. Reaching out and then retracting back in. And try to keep the length in the left side body too as we come into the side bend. The next time the right fingers reach up and over, pause. We're going to take the fingers to the back of the head. Take a breath in and just roll that shoulder up towards the sky. Let the gaze come up too. So the armpit, maybe the heart, is reaching towards the sky. As we exhale, with a nice long spine, take that elbow and drop it down towards the mat. And do 2 more like that. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, rotating down. Using that left hand for support underneath us. And then bringing the right elbow back up, release the right hand back towards the sky. Take a big breath in that lifts the body back up. And as we exhale, let the right hand float back down to the mat. And just take a breath here. Into the right side, notice the right side, notice the left. And then take that right palm down and sweep the left fingers up and over to the right. Pausing here, making any adjustments, pressing the hips into the mat. And then coming back up, letting the elbow come into the waist and then up and over into the side bend. Beautiful. Using those deep breaths, and you might like to keep with that exhalation through an open mouth, like a sigh, if that helps to release some tension. Next time that left arm reaches up and over, pause. And then take the fingertips to the back of the head for support. Inhale, roll the elbow up towards the sky. Maybe the gaze, maybe the heart lifts. As we exhale, nice long spine, just dropping that elbow down towards the mat. And 2 more times like that. And if you did any shoveling and you're a righty like me, you're going to feel it on this side. Coming up. Coming back down. And then releasing elbow towards the sky. Let that arm come up 1 more time. Big breath in to lift us. And as we exhale, let that hand float back down. Interlace the fingers and flip the palms away. Chin to chest. Round the spine. Seated cat pose. Inhale, rising up. Lift the heart. Seated cow. 2 more times like that. Just flowing between cat and cow. Next time we reach the hands up towards the sky, pause, take the shoulders down, find a nice long spine and reach up and over to the left. Maybe even using that left hand to pull the right arm up and over. On an exhalation, come down through center and inhale up and over to the right. Beautiful. We're going to do that side to side, reaching out in front and coming up. 1 more time over to the right, and then come on back up through center and let those arms float back down. Let's release the legs out in front. Give them a little shake. Flex the feet, toes come towards the sky, and then exhale, press them down. And just do that a couple of times, maybe making little circles, getting into the ankles. And then leave the legs out, right? Let's give the knees a little rest and interlace the fingers, bring the arms up and start to make some circles into the wrists. Just circling in one direction and circle the other. Take the palms in front of you, elbows out to the side. With the interlaced fingers, try to pull the hands apart but resist, getting a nice little stretch to the wrists. And then take the palms down and lift the left elbow with the right elbow drop. Big breath in, and as we exhale, take that over to the other side. Coming back to center and take the thumbs down towards the floor and press the palms away. It's just a little work for the wrists too. And then bend the knees. Bring the feet up. Take the hands behind a little windshield wipe side to side. Let those knees drop over to the left. Extend that right leg out. Take that left palm down and sweep the right fingers up and start to make big circles. So if the circles don't feel good with the shoulder, let the fingertips gently rest on the shoulder. Otherwise, nice big movement here. Circling the other way. And now reach those right fingers up towards the sky. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, just touch the fingers down in front of you. And then inhale, lifting up, and exhale. See if you can touch the fingers behind. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe they don't. And find this little rhythm, gently tapping in front, coming up on the inhale and tapping in back. So full rotation of the spine here. And the next time that that right hand comes to tap in front of the mat, pause here. And then bring the hands to the mat, come up onto the knees, find tabletop just for a moment. For a little cat and cow. So I want you guys to try something tonight, see if you like it better. I know sometimes the wrists aren't comfortable when we come into tabletop. Try coming down on the forearms with the elbows under the shoulders. Spread the fingers nice and wide and just drop the belly and lift the gaze. And as you exhale, tuck the chin around the spine in cat. And do that 2 more times. So maybe you like this version better. If not, come on back up to tabletop. 1 more round, pressing into cat. Come all the way back, find a child's pose. Big breath in. We're gonna walk the right hand under the left arm for a little bit of a stretch and a twist. Come on back through center and take that to the other side. Little baby twist, just reaching under the arm. Coming back up, tabletop, drop the hips. We're going to take the knees up and over to the right. Pressing into the right palm this time, extending the left leg, sweep those left fingers up and start with the big circles. Just circling in one direction. Take it the other way, big sweeping. And the next time those left fingers come towards the sky, pause here. Take a big breath in and just dip the fingers down in front. Inhale the arm up and see if you can reach the hand behind. And you might notice that on one side it's more accessible than the other. And no worries if the fingers don't reach the floor behind. Just taking that torso through a full rotation. Next time that left hand taps the floor, we're going to bring the hands to the mat, come back to tabletop, and your choice, either hands and knees, or if you liked being down on the forearms, take 3 rounds of cat and cow on the forearms. Drop the belly, lift the gaze as you exhale, pressing everything away, chin to chest, around the spine. And 2 more times like that. And then press all the way back into child's pose. Take a big breath in and then walk the right hand under the left arm. Take a little twist, peeking under that arm. Come on back to center and take that the other way. And come on back to center. So I said we were going to do a little bit of spine strengthening. So find your blanket, and if you don't have a blanket, you can roll up the mat, and we don't want it too hot. Okay, we want to just take a little bit of a lift and place it under the pelvis, so we have some support. And come first to the forearms. I have to move my blanket back. And it's okay if the belly's on the blanket and a little bit of the hips are on the blanket, but the chest should be down on the mat. And then take one hand on top of the other and just rest the forehead either on the hands or stack the fists. Right, and drop the forehead down and take a few deep breaths here, breathing into the belly. And notice the sensation as we breathe in and the belly presses into the blanket or the cushion that's below you. So this shouldn't hurt, right? If this doesn't feel good, make an adjustment, either making it higher or lower or moving it up or down on the body. Finding a place where it feels good. It should be support for the back. And then lifting the head, just sweep the arms alongside the body and press the palms into the mat. Resting the forehead on the mat. Relax the left leg and take the right toes and reach them all the way towards the end of the mat. And as we inhale, gently lift that right leg up. And as we exhale, lower it down. And it's a small lift, just coming up and down. Watch the lower back. If there's any crunching into that lower back, it means you're coming up too high. And the next time that leg comes up, just pause here. Forehead presses into the mat. Notice the left leg, can it stay relaxed? So we're working the glute, we're working that right leg, but the rest of the body is relaxed and we're breathing. And as you exhale, let that right leg come back down to the mat. Bring the hands back, maybe turn the head to one side, one hand on top of the other. You're just turning the head to one side, stretching out the neck. Bend the knees and bring the feet up and gently windshield wipe those feet from side to side. Relaxing and releasing the lower back. Then releasing the legs back, turning the head forward, arms come back alongside the body and forehead to the mat. Pressing to the palms a little bit and find length in the spine. And then take the left toes and point them all the way down towards the mat. Start to inhale the leg up, and as we exhale, let it float back down. And maybe stay with the inhaling up and down. Or the next time that leg comes up, pause here. Pressing forehead into the mat. Make that connection if you can. Palms are down, supporting us. Right leg is relaxed. Check in on the face, right? Make sure you're not clenching the jaw. Make sure the shoulders aren't up by the ears. Breathing here, really lengthening through the left toes. And as you exhale, slowly let that leg come down. Bring the hands back, one on top of the other, and turn the head in the opposite direction. Bend the knees, bring the feet up, and gently windshield wipe side to side. And release the legs. We're going to take that cushion and move it up a little bit higher. So now it's more on the belly so that the thighs are on the mat. Maybe the hips are on the mat. Arms alongside the body. So this is our last spine strengthening posture. These are all versions of locust pose, salabhasana. Take a breath, press the tops of the feet into the floor, right? The thighs are pressing into the mat. Press the palms into the mat. And as you inhale, gently begin to lift the head, shoulders, maybe the heart off the mat. Keep a nice long spine looking forward. Breathing here as you exhale, slowly lowering down. Now remember to check in on the sensation in the body. As we inhale, we start to rise up. There's no sharp sensation or pain. Exhale, coming down. And then inhale, find that lift, but keep the length, right? Think of really long spine, long legs, shoulders down and back. And then completely up to you. Palms stay down, or arms can come out to the side like an airplane, or even reach overhead. So reaching overhead is kind of intense, only if you want to build some heat. Breathing here. Make big breath in. And as we exhale, everything lowers back down. Forehead down to the back of the hands. One more time, bend the knees, lift the feet, and take them side to side. Releasing the feet and pressing up just to take that blanket and moving it off to the side. So keep it close. We'll use it again. And then come on back down onto the belly for a little restorative pose, a half frog pose. We're going to take the right knee out to the side. And I want you guys to see if you can create right angles. So the thigh is a right angle to the torso, and then the shin is a right angle to the thigh, even the foot, flexing the foot. Take the left arm and reach it all the way up overhead, and maybe rest the head on that arm, or you can rest it on the right palm. And breathe here. So this is a passive pose. We want to switch from doing to just allowing the body to receive the pose. If those right angles don't feel good in the body, then move the leg up or down or the heel away from you. Make those adjustments and find a place where you can hold this for at least 5 deep breaths. With every exhalation, rolling into that right side. See if you can really lengthen the inhale and match the exhale to the inhale. And with every exhale, softening into the right hip. Letting that right side get heavy. Feeling the ground beneath you, supporting you and holding you. And then we'll move into that twist that I was talking about earlier in class. So take the right palm, slide it just in front of the shoulder, and use it to bring the body up. And then the left arm reaches across. We're going to shift the hips and then take that right arm as we open up into a twist. Now the right shoulder isn't going to hit the floor or the mat, so that's where the forearm or the back of the hand can rest on the head in that OMG pose. Just gently moving the body into a twist with every exhalation, letting that right shoulder get heavy. Maybe the left hand reaches for the right knee or thigh. And take a few deep breaths here. And if this isn't working for the body, just go into a regular twist. On the next exhalation, unwinding, coming back onto the belly. And we'll take that to the other side. So you guys can stay exactly where you are. I'm just going to turn. So we bring the left knee out. Try to make those right angles. Thigh to torso, shin to thigh, and ankle and foot. Right arm extends all the way above the head. Maybe the head rests on that arm. And the left hand can be right in front for support, or you can rest the cheek on that hand. Close the eyes and breathe 5 deep breaths into half frog on this side. And with every exhalation, just allowing that left side to become heavy, to release, to relax and let go. Let the focus be on the breath. Exaggerating the inhalations really deep and slowing down the exhalations. And just allowing the body to receive the pose. And then sliding the left palm down, preparing for that twist, taking the right arm and reaching it across the body. And then rolling and letting that left arm open up, right? Elbow is reaching to the space behind us, bringing the body into a twist, and then resting the back of the hand or the forearm on the forehead. Maybe taking the right hand to the left knee and breathing in the twist. And again, if that's a tricky transition, you can come onto the back and just take a regular twist. And from here, straightening that top leg and bringing the body onto the back. And you're going to have to scooch the hips back onto the mat and bending the knees, letting the arms come out, T position, palms face down. Walk the feet out as wide as the mat and just drop the knees on each other. Let the thighs touch. Take a breath, turn the palms up towards the sky. Notice the release in the shoulders when you do that. A little bit of constructive rest pose. Breathing here. You can close the eyes. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, hug those knees into the chest. And find a gentle rocking, either circling the knees or rocking side to massage the lower back. So the spine strengthening can put a little bit of pressure on that lower back. So we want to give it a little love right now. Now let's hold that right knee in and let the left leg come down to the mat. Finding our wind liberating pose. Either holding below the knee or behind the knee, gently pull that knee towards the armpit or shoulder as you kick through the left heel, creating this opposing stretch. Big breath in. As we exhale, bend the left knee and cross the right ankle over that left leg, coming into our figure 4 or our reclining pigeon. Right? Put a little press to the thigh to create a little more space. Maybe find a little rock from side to side. If you would like a little more sensation, lift up that left leg, interlace the fingers behind the left thigh, pull the left leg in as we push the right knee away with the right elbow. And just breathe here. So we want to feel it, right? But we don't want to have any kind of pain here. We want to be able to breathe through it. So finding that edge and then taking a little step back to a point where we can feel the sensation and breathe through it. One more breath. Welcoming it all, right? And as we exhale, let both legs come back down to the mat. Interlace the fingers. Take the palms away from you above the head. Point the toes. Nice big stretch. And then take that left knee in. Hug it into the chest. Take the right toes up towards the sky. Press the right heel away. Wind liberating pose on the other side. And breathe. Big breath in. The entire spine presses into the mat, getting that little massage, that opposing pull and push of the left knee and the right heel. And on the next exhale, bend the right knee and cross that left ankle over the right leg. Stay here. Maybe a little pressure on that left thigh to open up that space. Or if you want more sensation, lift the right leg up, interlace the fingers, and gently pull that leg in as you push the left knee away with the left elbow. And just breathe, right? Watch the sensations, the thoughts. Breathe into it and allow. One more big breath in. As we exhale, releasing everything down. One more time, interlace the fingers, flip the palms away, big stretch. And then one more time, hugging those knees into the chest and finding that little rock from side to side. So let's find our block. And let the feet come down to the mat. We're going to take the block and place it between the thighs. And then press the feet into the floor. Bring the feet close to the butt. So we're coming into bridge pose, but we're using the block between the thighs. Keep squeezing the block with the thighs. Let the palms come alongside the body. And take the lower back, press it into the mat, just lifting the tailbone, finding that little tuck, right? As we pull the belly in and as we exhale, just release back to the natural spine. And do that a few times, creating this little massage in the lower back, all the while squeezing the block with the thighs. And again, if this doesn't work for you, release the block. Just adds a little bit of inner thigh work here. The next time we press the lower back in, press into the palms and the feet and start to lift the hips up and find this little rhythm where we lower back down one vertebrae at a time so we're not coming into a deep bridge, right? Just gently rolling along the spine, lifting the hips. And as we exhale, lowering back down. And do that a few times and notice if you're missing the lower back, right? Make sure that touches the mat too as we come back down to the mat. And the next time that we lift up, pause here. And again, not our deepest expression of bridge, just a gentle bridge. Breathing, lifting the hips, squeezing the block with the thighs. Breathing. And as we exhale, slowly coming down. Taking the block into the hands now. Press the lower back into the mat. Bring the knees up and take the feet up. Then with the block in the hands, between the palms, lift the arms up. So this is our dead bug pose, but we're going to be passing the block between the hands and the feet, right? So we're doing a little core work to match our spine strengthening. So first start by reaching the fingers up, reaching the toes up, pressing the belly in, lower back into the mat. And you make this movement as large or as small as you want. And then just bring the block to the feet, right? And start to lower the feet down, let the arms come a little bit behind the head, and then coming back up and switching. So just switching the block, and if you don't want to use the block, drop the block and just let this movement be arms and legs. If you want to add sensation, let the shoulders come off the mat as we lift the block. And let them come back down as the arms and legs extend. And just take 3 more rounds, whatever version you're doing. And you take the arms and legs down just to the point where that lower back will stay on the mat. Right? If you see it starts arching up, then you want to come right back up. Take a big breath in and then exhale, letting everything go back down, right? Letting that block come off to the side. One more time, bending the knees, feet flat on the mat, knees rest on each other, walking the feet as wide as the mat. This time, bring the palms to the belly. And just resting the palms on the belly, breathing into the belly. A few breaths here. Coming into our constructive rest. Let's exhale those knees into the chest one more time. And then let the feet come down and find your blanket, or you can use the block, whichever feels better. We're going to come into a supported fish pose. Now let's sit up for this one. It's hard to get into from laying on your back. I'm going to suggest the blanket unless you know that you really like a lot of height. So fish is a heart opener. You can use the block just under like the bra line, or you take the blanket. And we want to come back down, have the shoulders resting on the mat, and just have this little lift to the heart. Maybe bend the knees. Find that position where the knees are resting on each other, or you can extend the legs out. Like, play with it. See what feels better. Arms can be alongside the body, or the hands can be resting on the belly. And let the eyes close here. This is a restorative pose. It's a little lift to the heart. And as you breathe, you might notice that it's easier to breathe into the chest when the shoulders are down and back and the heart is open. If you want more sensation, the arms extend out in a T position off of the blanket. And we breathe. Big breath in. And with the exhalations, feel the support beneath you. Let's get in touch with the movement of the breath. And coming in and coming out like a gentle wave, and letting the breath be our focus. Take 2 more deep breaths like that. And then bending the knees, gently rolling to one side and removing the blanket and coming back onto the back. Hugging the knees into the chest. And then taking the knees out to the side, lifting the feet, finding happy baby. So either holding on to the big toes, or the inside or outside of the feet. You can wrap the arms around, hold on to the ankles, right? Whatever feels right for you. And take a few breaths here in happy baby. You might want to straighten one leg and bend the opposite knee, taking this side to side. You might want a static, happy baby. And on the next inhalation, extend the legs up towards the sky. Press the right leg over the left, bend the knees, and pull the knees in. You can walk the hands down the legs, reaching for the ankles or the feet. Releasing the legs back up towards the sky and switching that cross. So left over right, bend the knees, hug the knees into the chest, gently pulling the legs a little closer. One more time, releasing the legs up towards the sky. And then hugging them into the chest and either rolling to one side or gently rocking yourself up to seat. I want to do a little pranayama before we come into our relaxation. Alternate nostril breath, Nadi Shodhana. Or, I know sometimes if we're a little stuffy, this isn't comfortable at all. So if closing off the nostrils doesn't work, Just imagine the breath moving from the left to the right. Otherwise, if you're okay with closing, we're going to start by closing off the right nostril with the thumb, right thumb, taking a breath into the left, closing the left with the ring finger or the pinky, and exhaling out the right. Inhaling up the right side, closing right, exhale left, inhaling left, and closing left, exhale right. We inhale up the same side, so inhale right, close the right, and switch on the exhalation. Exhale out the left. Inhale the same side we exhaled, so inhaling left, close left, exhale right. Continue following your breath. Inhaling the same side we exhaled, crossing over on the exhalation, and exhaling and inhaling same side. And as the breath flows from the left to the right, let that be the focus. Feeling the sensation. So we are balancing the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. And in the yoga tradition, we are balancing our feminine and masculine, or the moon and the sun energy. And then see if it would feel okay to add a little pause. At the top of the inhalation, just pausing for a second or two. And at the bottom of the exhale, holding the breath out. Maybe counting the inhalations and matching the exhalations to the inhalations. And over time, seeing if you can increase the count from 4 to 5 or 6. Let's take one more round. And the round ends with the exhalation out of the left side. And once that's completed, let the hands come back down to the left and return to the natural breath. Just noticing how that short experiment of alternate nostril breathing, noticing the effect it has on the body. It's a great one to do if you're having insomnia, if you're in pain, if you're stressed. Then take a big breath in and find a comfortable position for relaxation. And noticing if the body is needing any other movement before relaxing, and setting yourself up with blankets and cushions, if you have eye pillows, making yourself really comfortable. So I left a little extra time tonight for relaxation. The body will begin to cool down. So you might want to cover up. And remembering Ashavasana is not always down on the back. Maybe you want to try legs up the wall tonight. Maybe you want to be on a side resting position. Maybe you want to have a cushion under the knees or the feet resting on a chair. And then once the body is comfortable, let's switch from doing to just being. So bringing your attention back to that breath as it moves through the body. Feeling the inhalations and the exhalations. As you inhale, feel that expansion. And as you exhale, feel that sweet surrender. Everything relaxing back down. Feel the ground beneath you supporting you. And then start to let the body go. Relaxing the muscles of the face. Relaxing your jaw and the lips and the tongue. Relaxing the entire mouth and the cheeks and the space around the nostrils. Begin to soften the corners of the eyes and the eyelids. Relax the forehead and the space between the eyebrows. Relax the scalp and the back of the head. Relax the neck and the throat. And let that relaxation travel from the throat to the shoulders and the shoulder blades. From the shoulder blades down the arms, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, the palms of the hands, the backs of the hands, the thumbs, index finger, middle fingers, ring fingers, and pinkies. And feeling the body resting, the head, the shoulders, the arms. And then move that relaxation into the torso. Feeling the back body resting. Feeling the front body expanding. And as you inhale, sensing that separation between the back body and front body. And as you exhale, relaxing chest, upper back, waist, middle back, belly, and lower back. Relaxing hips, seat muscles, and pelvis. Let those muscles go. Let the bones become heavy. Relaxing the thighs, the inner thighs and the outer thighs. The top and back of the thighs. And the knees. The kneecaps and behind the knees. The calves and the shins. The ankles. The heels. The arches of the feet. The balls of the feet, the tops of the feet, and all 10 toes. And just allowing the body to rest here. Feeling the benefits of the practice. The body breathing the breath, and the breath breathing the body. And welcoming whatever it is. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So welcoming it all. Begin to deepen the breath, bringing your awareness back, maybe wiggling fingers and toes if it feels good, rocking the head side to side, or a big stretch like we're just waking up. And very gently making your way onto one side. And just resting in a fetal position for a few breaths as we transition back and noticing how the body feels. The breath, the thoughts in the mind. If maybe we've created a little bit of space in the body, space for all those emotions, space to welcome whatever it is. And thank yourself for making the time, carving out this hour to give back to yourself and coming to the mat to become a better person. And whenever you're ready, gently pressing up to a comfortable seat and bringing the hands together at the heart and bowing the head to the heart. Remembering to listen to our heart, whatever it has to say, right? It speaks to us all the time. We're usually too busy to hear what it has to tell us. And then taking this peacefulness we created on our mat and bringing it with us. Right? Don't leave it here. Take it with you into your night, maybe even into tomorrow. And thank you guys so much for allowing me to continue to guide you through this practice all this time. It's just so wonderful to be here with you until we can all be together again in person, right? It's an honor to share this. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Nina.
Stay well.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you Monday.
Yes.
Thank you.
Monday.
Bye, ladies. Have a nice
Bye.
weekend.
Thank you, Nina.
Enjoy, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Really good philosophical words this evening, Nina,
Yes.
about welcoming the dark, given the darkness of winter compounded by the darkness of COVID, to say, okay, if we're not welcoming that in, we're just pushing it away and we're not really dealing with it. So I think you really certainly hit a note for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to achieve anything, but I'll certainly contemplate it. And I thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, just sometimes just realizing that, you know, it sucks, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too many times, especially in the yoga world, everything's love and light, love and light. No, this sucks.
Yeah.
Then you pick yourself up and you move on, you know? I didn't think I was the only one feeling that way.
No.
So,
We all do.
yeah. Well, I am grateful for all of you. I really am.
We
And
are.
then this community.
Well,
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Stay safe. Stay warm.
Night.
Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for playing.